There's nothing better than a beautifully designed Formula One track. Whether it's the streets of Monaco, the hills of Spa in Belgium, or the high-speed straights of Monza, it's what makes F1 so great. But how much do these tracks cost to build? Some of them are so expensive that you'll have to double-check. Stay tuned as we have a look at some of the most expensive Formula One tracks ever built. Singapore. Everyone wants a street circuit these days. Monaco, Melbourne, Baku, Sochi, and Montreal, and some fan favorites in the F1 calendar. The action is close to buildings, walkways, and you get a real feeling for how fast the cars are going. The Marina Bay Circuit was opened in 2008 to try and bring the stylish city of Singapore into the F1 universe. The track is a street circuit, meaning that it uses roads that are normally used by traffic when there are no races. That also means that there is a massive operation to set up the circuit each year. 25,000 workers start months before the race, erecting 10 kilometers of fencing and over 4,000 safety barriers. The Singapore Grand Prix is famous for two things: the night race and its accident rates. When the race weekend gets underway, 1,600 lights are used around the track to light it up. It makes the venue more exciting and has a different atmosphere than day races. The second claim to fame of the Marina Bay Sands circuit is that there has been a safety car every single race since it began. Before 2013, there was a part of the track nicknamed the Singapore Sling because of how it caused so many drivers to bump over a curb and send their car flying. Lewis Hamilton called it the worst corner that he'd experienced in Formula One. So how much to turn a piece of the city into an F1 track? The fast-paced street circuit cost around $20 million to construct. Not bad considering how expensive everything is in Singapore. Bahrain. The first race was held in 2004 and was the first Formula One race to be held in the Middle East. It was used to advertise Bahrain as a modern destination in the Middle East. In 2011, the race was cancelled because of protests and political violence. For years afterwards, there was controversy about whether or not F1 should be held during times of civil unrest, but F1 decided that it would go ahead. 3 years later, the Bahrain Grand Prix was held at night for the first time after the circuit invested $17 million into an installation of lights that covered the entire track. Bahrain joined Singapore by hosting it at night, partly to celebrate the 10th year of the Grand Prix and partly to reduce the time difference for European audiences. If you are from somewhere like Australia, then you know how bad the time difference can be. It can be hard to stay up past midnight on a Sunday, even for F1. You may have noticed about the drivers' ceremonies in Bahrain. Because of the country's culture and region, teams are banned from advertising alcohol at the Bahrain Grand Prix, and on the podium, drivers spray each other with rose water rather than the traditional champagne. But after losing kilograms of sweat during the race, maybe the drivers would prefer drinking water anyway. The track cost $150 million to build. That's one expensive tourism ad. Istanbul Park. The track was opened in 2005 and held the first Turkish Grand Prix for 7 years straight. Former Formula One boss Bernie Ecclestone once called the track the best race circuit in the world. But this could have had something to do with the fact that he bought the track in 2007 for $180 million. But drivers do love the design of the track, and Turn 8 was seen as one of the most exciting out of all the circuits. The cars average 270 kilometers per hour around the turn, and it is the longest corner of the season. The venue's seating can hold up to 25,000, and an extra 100,000 people can fit in the standing areas. And it doesn't hurt that it is located in Istanbul, one of the most beautiful destinations in the world. When Istanbul Park returned to the F1 calendar in 2020, it was given a facelift, with the track being resurfaced, but proved to be a problem for many of the drivers, with Charles Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel, and Lewis Hamilton all saying that the surface felt slippery and dangerous. But the next year, the track was water blasted, which seemed to fix the issue. All up, the Istanbul Park circuit cost $300 million. Now that's a lot of money to spend just for the drivers to tell you that the track is terrible. Which circuit costs more than the economy of a small country? And which circuit costs $15 million just to set up each year? Don't go anywhere to find out. Baku City Circuit. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix takes place in a street circuit that bends through the old historic city and around some of the city's most famous landmarks. It was advertised as the world's fastest street circuit, and it has certainly lived up to its name. It's exciting, fast-paced, and has been the location of many memorable moments. The track was designed by F1 track designer Herman Tilke, who had to analyze the city to see if it were possible to design a track using the streets. The end design lasts 6 kilometers and features a long straight, tight corners and a number number of slow sections. Just to have the right to hold the race, the Azerbaijan government paid $70 million a year. That figure has now dropped to $55 million, but it just shows how badly Azerbaijan wants to be part of the racing club. For comparison, Monaco pays just $15 million to Formula One. The circuit cost $80 million initially, which is not so bad, but it costs $15 million each year to set everything up and pack it away again. On top of that, it costs $12 million alone just to resurface the road. China, Shanghai. It was built as a way to showcase modern China to the rest of the world. For 18 months from 2003, the track was constructed and completed within 18 months. It was ready for the 2004 Chinese Grand Prix, which was won by Rubens Barrichello. Michael Schumacher still holds the record for the fastest lap of the circuit, which he set in 2004. The track failed to attract the Chinese population to Formula One. The Chinese government and Formula One both wanted to help build a bigger audience in China, but some have said that the high cost of tickets and merchandise are off-putting to many people in the country. And the cost of the race wasn't helping either. By 2008, the race wasn't making any money and it was under the threat of being canceled, but an extension of the contract was confirmed in 2011 and then again in 2017. Race organizers also have to pay a fee to Formula One for the opportunity to host a race, and China's fee is currently set at $50 million, double Japan's fee, but they should be good for the money considering how much they spend on the circuit. The track cost an estimated $450 million. At the time, it was the most expensive F1 track ever built. That was until the next track came along, Abu Dhabi. Which country comes to mind when you think of wealth? It used to be the city-state of Monaco, or Singapore, or the circuit at the center of a Yas Island development, which is estimated to be worth around $40 billion. The development has a water park, apartments, hotels, and beaches. The Yas Island Hotel is built over the top of the circuit so you can book a room instead of a seat. Imagine looking out your window and seeing Lewis Hamilton fly past your window. Why even bother putting TVs in the room? The track was designed by circuit designer Herman Tilke. He has designed the Bahrain, Shanghai, Valencia, Istanbul, Marina Bay, and Sepang circuits. Yas Marina has 21 turns and covers a distance of 5.5 kilometers. It was seen as a rival to the Monaco Street circuit because it has yachts close to the track, a luxury hotel, and is located in a mini city. It only took 2 years from the time it was proposed in 2007 before its grand opening in 2009. The quick construction was thanks to 14,000 workers and 35 million hours of work. It has been reported that the track itself cost an eye-watering $6 billion to construct. That's more than the GDP of the entire country of Montenegro. Which of these high-priced circuits is your favorite? Or do you prefer the classic circuits? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.